Plaintiff Jeffrey Mack is legally married to the defendant, but they've been separated for years. Jeffrey claims he and the defendant had a son, but when the defendant got pregnant again, she claimed the baby was his. However, 7 months into the pregnancy, she said the baby was not his, and she moved away. Jeffrey petitioned the court for a DNA test for the defendant's daughter, and he's suing his estranged wife for emotional distress. Defendant Geraldine White says when she met Jeffrey, she was selling crack, and when she was pregnant with Jeffrey's son, he became physically abusive. Geraldine claims Jeffrey is a deadbeat dad who refuses to see his son, and she does not believe he is her daughter's biological father. She's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Well, back in 2001, me and Geraldine got married. We had a son. Our marriage started messing up. We separated. Back in 2005, she came back. We tried to make the marriage work. She got pregnant. She got pregnant with my child, she told me. 7 months later, she told me that my child wasn't mine. It was somebody else. She left, went to New York. She had the child. I haven't seen the child since then. That's why I petitioned to test the court for a DNA test. Ma'am?
We met in 2000. Jeff, we hooked up pretty fast. I got pregnant 3 months into my pregnancy. Jeff began to get abusive.
It's 3 months into your first pregnancy?
Yes, my first pregnancy. He began to get abusive. You know, he shoved his knee in my stomach, told me that, you know, if he couldn't have me, no one else would, and my baby wouldn't live. That's how we broke up. After that...
That was your first child?
Yes, that was my first child.
In 01?
Yes. Before the child was born, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now Colin's born, and...
Pardon me?
My son, he was born now.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff wasn't working. He was being abusive, he wasn't working, and things weren't going good, so, we lost our apartment.
When you all came back together, what was it like? Was everything fine?
No, it wasn't.
What
he
happened?
Was still
what was
abusive.
going on then?
He was still abusive,
Mm-hmm.
and just, you know, still wasn't paying any rent, abusing me mentally, physically, emotionally.
And then you got, then you became pregnant?
I didn't know I was pregnant when I got back to Detroit. A couple of months into staying there, I started showing. Me and Jeff, you know, we got it in a couple of times, but I couldn't do it anymore because Jeffrey has hygiene problems.
And then what did you think about the child?
What did I think about the child?
Yes, you were pregnant. Did you think the child was his?
I went to the doctors and found out, got the
Saying that you were pregnant?
Yeah. They size the baby and they tell you how old the baby is in your belly. Jeff stood right there and did the math. It didn't add up.
Okay.
That's why he started arguing with me, you know, and
what didn't add up?
The timing didn't add up.
Okay, so it appeared it wasn't his?
Yeah.
All right, and so what did you tell him? You told him it was someone else's?
I told him later on that, yeah, I don't think it's yours. I think it's the other guy's.
Okay. What else is there you want me to know about your
Honor,
marriage and why you all are still married after years of separation? But go ahead.
Well, Your Honor, back in 2001, while she was carrying my son, the doctor called us over, but as she was taking the pregnancy test and everything, to check the blood work to see if the baby was healthy, they pulled me and Miss Geraldine to the side and say that we found some cocaine in your system. I was puzzled, she was puzzled. I looked at her, was just wondering. 3 days, she become missing. While after we had our child, after the child was born, I started putting two together. She says she sell crack, cocaine in the system, 3 days gone, sometime a week.
She told you she sold crack?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm
Is this
sorry.
true?
Your Honor, when Jeffrey met me, I was selling crack and everything.
Did the doctors tell you there was crack in your system when you were pregnant?
First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you. Jeffrey gave me a STD.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what the
talk
doctor
about you
pulled us
being
to
a
the side
crackhead.
for.
Were you a crackhead at
No,
any time?
I've never smoked
Very
crack a
good.
day in
That's
my
all
life.
we're asking right now.
'Kay.
All that you're trying to defame him with about his hygiene and now him having an STD and all that, that's not where we're at. And he made his allegation. You denied it other than saying you did sell crack. Ma'am, anything else you want to tell me?
My son, Jeff, 14 years, hasn't paid $1,400. That means, everybody knows, you ain't paid $100 in a year. You ain't paid anything in a year. I'm not money fiend. I'm
In
not
1 year?
nothing in 14 years.
In 14 years or 1 year?
And I feel like he hasn't.
You
Little
feel
here,
like
little
he
there.
hasn't? All right, let's move on. What else you want me to know?
Well, I want you to know that my son, you know, he's been going through so much. You know, he's getting arrested. He's 14 years old.
Has he been in his life?
No.
Okay.
And I say to Jeff that saying, you know, brought me here today saying that I don't allow him to speak to my son. I have proof.
You say
This
she
guy
withholds
here,
your son from visiting with you?
This,
She don't allow me to talk to my son on the phone
Okay.
unless
How does she prohibit you?
when I call, all she do is harass. When I say, can I talk to my son? She say, no, you
How
cannot.
old is he?
He is 14. I'd say since
You
me
don't
and
know how to locate him other than calling at her phone?
only through her. She got pregnant with my child, she told me. 7 months later, she told me that my child wasn't mine. It was somebody else. She left, went to New York. She had the child. I haven't seen the child since then. That's why I petitioned the court for a DNA test.
Defendant Geraldine White is legally married to the plaintiff, and he suspects he may be her daughter's biological father, even though Geraldine denies it. So he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
How has he caused you emotional distress, ma'am?
Your Honor, 14 years. He's like, you know, you don't want to be with me? I'm not doing nothing for you. It's not doing it for me. It's for my son. You know, I don't ask you for nothing. I call you on September for his birthday. What do I get? I get either no answer or I get a you be go, you know, do whatever you got to do because I'm not giving you, you know what I mean?
Have you done what you had to do?
Have I done what I had to do?
Yes. Going to child support services.
Yes, I did.
And what occurred?
I don't know what recently when I checked on it.
No, it's been 14 years.
Yes.
So
first
what
they-
happened the first year, the second year,
I've
the
never gotten a
third,
child
the
support
five?
check.
That's what I'm asking. Did you file?
Yes, I did.
When did you
I
first
filed
file?
about probably 4 years ago.
Okay, that was your first time?
Mm-hmm.
And did they determine you are due child support?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what you need to follow up on the legal process. They'll hold him accountable for
Honor.
all those 14 years that he has not paid. So what else you want to tell me other than about child support?
I feel like so long. 14 years. I don't bother him. I'm not one of those mothers that, you know, call to get their nails done or get some, you know, bag of weed. I'm not like that. I even say, you know, so you don't have to go through me. You can go through a family member. Speak to them if you don't want to speak to me.
Okay. Is there any way he has harassed you? Tell me how he has
Calling me all
harassed
sorts
you.
of bees and calling me hoes and
When?
crackhead.
When
And
he calls you or
I
something?
never smoke crack and
When does he do this?
whenever I call. Whenever
When
I
you
call,
call
when
him?
he says, he'll be like, oh, I don't got it today, so call next day. I'll call that next day, and
Okay.
he won't have it. And when
How
he don't have
often?
it, I don't call often. It's very, very rare.
Do you know?
I call him
Every other month, every
you know
couple
what?
months?
I call him when probably a couple of weeks go by and he hasn't speak to his son. I'll call him, hey, you need to speak to Colin. Speak to Colin. You know? I make those phone calls. Other than that,
Okay. So he curses you out when you call.
Every single time.
That's your harassment.
Calls-
So what
I
is
have
your
my witness.
emotional distress for?
Emotional distress is for her.
Mm-hmm.
All the years ever since 2001 until last week. Come to find out, she's a crackhead.
asking for child support. Where did I
Calling
get this?
me, harassing
When did
me,
you see me ever smoke
leaving
crack?
me-
Yeah, where do you get this idea that she's a
When?
crackhead, sir?
When?
When
She
the
admitted to
doctor-
selling it, so
when
why
the
wouldn't
doctor
she
brought
admit
her-
to using it?
You're
Why?
lying.
Selling it.
You are
and the
lying.
doctor-
She admits to selling it.
Yes.
Where do you get information that she is a crackhead?
on Facebook, where she had posted things
Saying that she was a crackhead?
Selling that she sold drugs, sold crack.
Well, she's admitted that.
And
we're talking about her being a crackhead because so far, you being unable to even explain the allegation makes you sound like the crackhead. Makes you sound like the crackhead.
When my son was born,
I heard all that. She denied it. I heard that.
She was selling
I
crack.
said she admitted that part.
3 days. We was married.
So, you have any other evidence? You say you have something on Facebook. Give it to me. Else I'm gonna say you the crackhead. If you can't show me, we're gonna see who the crackhead is. If you lying, then you the crackhead. Who's the crackhead today? Well, the real crackhead, please stand up. That's what we gonna see. We gonna see who the crackhead is today. Keep a looking.
Your Honor.
He's looking, yes.
Can I say something about this Facebook stuff?
Uh-huh.
Jeffrey waterboarded my son. Accused him of trying to commit sexual acts to his girlfriend's daughter, right? Instead of questioning my son, he tied him to a chair, put a rag over his face, and threw water over him.
Okay, has there been any police action on that?
Colin ran away. This is how I got Colin back.
I know, but the police, they'll still take the
I don't know, that was in Detroit. I'm in New York. Colin ran away. I had to come all the way out, my last money, to come out to Detroit to pick up my son. Oh, I want my son, I want my son, I want my son. Here's your son. The very month that I gave him, come get your son. He says to my son.
Because you said you were going to kill him.
Sir, you need to be finding that allegation that concludes she's a crackhead. That's what you need to be doing.
Your Honor, and that's really...
Let's see it.
Foster care, they had her take drug tests.
Let's see it. This letter is to inform you that there will be a court hearing scheduled on 2011 at the Staten Island. The court hearing is to discuss the permanency of your child, Colin Mack, who is currently in foster care. It says absolutely nothing about her using drugs, crackhead.
Please,
it says nothing about it, crackhead. You said you had direct evidence stated on Facebook or otherwise confirming that. Be quiet, ma'am. Now you're starting to act like one. Trying to defend you. Get out of here with this emotional distress. Let me, because I'm the only one suffering emotional distress. Let me get the results.
They size the baby and they tell you how old the baby is in your belly. Jeff stood right there and did the math. It didn't add up.
All right, and so what did you tell him? You told him it was someone else's?
I told him later on that, yeah, I don't think it's yours. I think it's the other guy's.
Defendant Geraldine White is legally married to the plaintiff, and he suspects he may be her daughter's biological father, even though Geraldine denies it. So he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
I don't know why you haven't been divorced and get rid of each other, but you want to come in here? I know you all don't want to get rid of each other. I'm going to get rid of y'all. I bet you that. We're going to do that real quick. We're going to do that real quick. And Mr. Mack, you are the father. There you go, buddy. Have a good day. Claim is dismissed for emotional distress, both of you. Good day.
I have voicemail, Your Honor.
Results. DNA.
Can I see that?
See?
That says that
God don't like ugly.
To the daughter? To my daughter?
God don't like ugly.
Are you kidding me? You only did this so you can get some more income tax from him.
No, ain't gonna be no income tax.
You ain't did nothing from him. You ain't gonna never know her.
Hey, all right, Skeletor.
How is this?
I'm okay, Skeletor.
Oh, whoa.
I'm okay. Hey, I'm okay.
Wow. Jeff, wait so I can come spit in your face.
Sheila, got that on voicemail too.
He's gonna continue to ignore his child.
No, I send child support.
No, you don't send
harassment, that verbal abuse I get all the time from her for 14
look
years.
At you.
That's why I end up in Michigan, get away from her before I might have to catch a case. And I'm not gonna have that happen.